This is The Cut. American whiskey, daily. Garrison Brothers wants you to wait. For the first time ever, the distillery whose bottles vanish in seconds is asking fans to pay now and pick up their whiskey in October 2028. Patience, for once, is the entire pitch. I'm John from Chasing the Unicorn podcast. Here's what moved today. August 6, 2026. Here's the big move. Garrison Brothers, Texas's oldest legal whiskey distillery, just opened its first ever pre-sale on High Rye Bourbon, the High Rye release that has never needed a lottery because it just disappears the moment it drops. The window opened late last month and runs through August 10th. Pay $99.99 plus tax, 4 bottles per customer, and you're locked in. The catch is the timeline. You don't actually take the bottle home until October 2028, more than 2 years from now, picked up in person at the distillery in High, Texas. Why do this? High Rye has sold out in minutes every release since it debuted back in 2020. That's great for hype, terrible for planning. Most buyers never get a real shot, they just lose a refresh button race to bots and resellers. This pre-sale flips that. Instead of managing chaos on launch day, Garrison Brothers is managing its own aging pipeline against guaranteed demand, years out. It's a real bet that loyalty outlasts a 2-year wait. And if it works, don't be surprised when other allocation-heavy distilleries start running the same play. Now, today's On the Road. Because it isn't just one distillery rethinking access this week. 2 more producers are leaning on something a national brand can't fake, an exact place. Jack Daniel's just released Distillery Series Selection number 17, pulled from the single hottest floor in its entire operation, the top of Barrel House 113 at Coy Hill in Lynchburg, Tennessee. That barrel went in back in 2016 and came out at 138.4 proof, sold exclusively in Tennessee and at the distillery's own bottle shop. No national rollout, no lottery, just one warehouse floor that won't produce this again once the barrel's empty. Out in Wyoming, Wyoming Whiskey released State of the Union on Tuesday, a 6-year 98-proof bourbon timed to the 250th anniversary of American independence, made entirely from Wyoming grain and limestone aquifer water. It's not shipping anywhere. It's sitting on shelves at 2 stores, one in Kirby, one in Jackson, and that's it. Here's what connects all 3 of this week's stories, Garrison Brothers included. None of them are competing on volume. They're competing on a story a big national label structurally can't tell. This exact barrel house floor, this exact state's water, this exact 2-year wait. That's a different kind of scarcity than a lottery. It's scarcity built into geography, not into how fast you can click a button. So here's today's first sip. So here's what it is. Every barrel loses whiskey to evaporation as it ages. Distillers call it the angel's share. In Kentucky and Tennessee's climate, a barrel typically gives up 3 to 5% of its volume a year, and where it sits in the warehouse changes how fast that happens. Today's Jack Daniel's release is the clearest demonstration you'll find. It came off the hottest floor in the building, where extreme heat pushed evaporation well past what a normal Rick location sees. What's left after 10 years of that isn't a production trick. It's just what survives when the Angels take a bigger than usual cut. Think of it like reducing a sauce on high heat instead of low. You get less of it, but what's left is concentrated. What this changes, next time you see an unusually high proof number on a single location release, you'll know it's not a mystery. It's physics working on one barrel in one specific spot. And if you're logging pours, drop this one in your perfect pour logbook. It's available now, and your pour print will start showing you how proof and barrel house position line up with what you actually reach for. One more thing before you go. Heaven Hill's Old Fitzgerald Bottled in Bond decanter, the 17th release in that series, closes its walk-up window today at the Bourbon Heritage Center in Bardstown. No lottery, 1 bottle per visitor, 10 years old, 100 proof, wheated mash bill, and it's $54.99. That's a real allocated bottle, walk-up only, at a price well under most decanters this age. If you're anywhere near Bardstown today, that's the call. Go buy it. Don't wait for it to show up on the secondary market at double the price next month. So here's the one thing to take from today. Every story this week, Garrison Brothers, the Tennessee Barrel House floor, Wyoming's own grain and water, is the same idea wearing a different coat. The bottles worth chasing right now aren't the ones with the biggest name on the label. They're the ones tied to a place that can't be copied. That's worth more than proof or price, and it's the thing to look for the next time you're standing in front of a shelf. That's The Cut. The full American whiskey industry brief is free every morning at chasingtheunicornpodcast.com. I'm John Schuster. Thanks for joining me. Your unicorn is out there.